You are listening to the Profitable Content Creator Podcast. This is the place where content creators come to learn how to create profitable content that positions themselves as an authority and grows their online businesses. Get ready to take your content to a whole new level with your host, Kristen Poborski.
Your VA asks you the same thing every single week. You've tried being clearer, more detailed, more patient, nothing changes. That's because you're solving the wrong problem. Here's the story. It's Tuesday morning, you open Slack, 15 messages from your VA. What should I post today? How do I respond to this email? Can you review this before I send it? What's the priority here? You spend up 2 hours answering the same questions. Then you get back to your actual work. You think, why can't they just figure it out? I see this constantly with business owners at your level, making good money, small team, maybe 1 or 2 VAs, right? And the VA asks the same question over and over all day, every day. So today, I'm going to show you exactly what this feels like, why this is happening, the actual cause, what your VA actually needs that they don't have from you, the difference between giving instructions and building systems, and what changes when your VA or your team has the framework and the other assistance that they need. So let's start with what this actually feels like. If you have a VA who's constantly, or a team member who's constantly asking you questions, you know exactly what I'm talking about. If you're thinking about hiring one, this is the exact situation that you need to avoid. Morning, you wake up, check your phone, 7 messages from your VA. They need guidance, clarification, approval, direction. You answer while you're making that cup of coffee. 20 minutes, gone. Mid-morning, you're in a flow, working on something important. Ping, quick question. It's never quick. You switch contexts, answer, try to get back into that flow you were in, and it's a little hard. Afternoon, 3 more questions. Each one needs thought, context, a decision. You're not mad at your VA. They're just trying to do good work. They want to get it right, but you're exhausted from being the answer key for everything they're doing. Evening, you realize, oh my gosh, I spent 4 hours today answering questions instead of doing my actual work. And here's the worst part. Same questions next week. What should I post? How should I handle this? Can you review this? You've answered those same questions before, probably many times, but they keep asking. One of my clients told me she had set an alarm for question time. Every day at 10 a.m. and 3 p.m., she'd batch answer all of her VA's questions. Sounds smart, right? Protect your focus time. But here's what actually happened. Her VA would actually save up the questions and dump all 15 at once. Each question time took an hour, 2 hours a day, 10 hours a week is what that amounted to. She told me, I hired someone to get time back, but instead I now have a full-time job answering questions, checking their work. If this is you, I need you to hear this. Your VA or your team member isn't bad at their job. You just haven't given them what they need to do their job independently. So what's causing this? Here's what most people think. My VA needs to be more independent, more proactive, better at problem solving. That's not it. Your VA is actually, or your team member is actually asking you questions because they don't have the 3 things that they need. 1, they don't have your voice. When they're trying to write content, it doesn't sound like you, so they ask you to review. Or worse, they ask you to write it. Or they ask for guidance on every single piece. They're not bad at writing. They just don't have a framework or an AI assistant in place for writing in your voice. 2, they don't have your decision-making frameworks. When something comes up, they don't know how you think, How would she handle a refund request? What would she prioritize here? Should I reschedule this or check first? They're not really bad at making decisions. They just don't know your decision logic. 3, they don't have systems that run without you. This is key. Every task they do requires your input somewhere in the process. That ends up with you being the bottleneck or the go-to person for everything, which can be a bottleneck, right? Content, it needs your review. Emails, it may need your approval. Scheduling, needs your preferences. They're not bad at execution. It's just that your systems don't exist. So your team member, your VA, they end up asking you questions because that's the only way they can get the information they need from you. I worked with a business owner whose virtual assistant had been with her for 3 years. Same VA, 3 years, still asking 30 questions a week. She told me, I've explained this so many times. Why don't they get it? I watched her Slack for a week, and here's what I saw. VA, what should I post on Instagram today? Owner, something about the new program launch. VA, like what? Owner, what specifically? The owner, she ended up writing the entire post. Next week, same thing. What should I post today? Owner, content about the benefits of working with us. VA, should I mention the program? Ends up, she wrote the post again. The VA wasn't being difficult. It's just that they didn't have a content system with AI trained on the owner's voice. The owner was the assistant. That's why nothing changed. So when your VA is asking you the same questions repeatedly, I want you to know they're not forgetting. They just don't have a system to reference instead of you. Stop blaming your VA for asking you questions. Start building the systems that answer those questions for them. So think about it this way. What does your VA actually need? Your VA doesn't need to be smarter, more experienced, or more independent. They need 3 things that you probably haven't given them. First, they need AI trained on your voice. So when they write your content, AI should write it in your voice first. Then they review and refine it. This way, they're not creating from scratch. They're not asking you. They're editing, managing, and improving. Big difference. Social posts, the AI writes them in your voice. Your VA reviews, tweaks, schedules. Emails, AI drafts them using your frameworks. Your VA sends, edits, and it's out the door. Video scripts, AI creates the outline in your style. Your VA polishes, you record. So this way, your VA goes from, I don't know what to do, what to write, to I'm reviewing and improving on what AI is creating for them, and it's going out the door. That way, questions drop immediately from your weekly staff. Second, they need your decision-making frameworks, not just instructions, frameworks. When someone requests a refund within 30 days, approve it and send them this email. When someone wants to reschedule, check the calendar, offer these 3 times. When a student is stuck on module 3, direct them to this resource or preferably this AI agent designed to help them. Your VA doesn't need to guess anymore how you'd handle it. They have the framework right there and they can execute for you. Third, they need systems that can run without your input. Good example, content system. AI creates, VA manages, posts go out on schedule. Course support. AI can handle your common questions. VA handles your unique situations. Email system. AI drafts responses. VA reviews and can send them. Operations, calendar automation, task management, workflow tools, and more. When systems exist, your team member or virtual assistant can manage them without you. They don't need to ask you how to run them. One of my clients rebuilt her entire business around this, and this is what happened. Her VA used to ask her 40 questions a week about content, about emails, about students, about operations. We built 3 things. 1, an AI content writer trained on her voice. Her VA now can manage content instead of creating it from scratch. 2, decision frameworks for everything: refunds, rescheduling, student operations, student questions, operations. 3, systems with AI doing the heavy lifting. Her VA can manage the systems, not the individual repetitive tasks. 1 week after implementation, 25 questions. Week 2, they went down to 12 questions. Week 3, 5 questions. Week 4, her VA sent her a message. I finally feel like I know what I'm doing. So your VA wants to do good work for you. They want to be helpful. They want to stop asking you questions. So what you've got to do is give them what they need: AI trained on your voice, decision frameworks, and systems that run. Here's this difference between just giving instructions and systems. See, most people give their team members, virtual assistants, instructions. What they actually need are systems. And here's the difference: instructions. Post on Instagram 3 times a week. Then your VA is going to come back and ask you, what should I post? When? What's the caption? What's the hashtags? Your answer: every week forever. Or you might just throw up your hands and end up doing it yourself. System? Here's our content system. AI writes the posts in my voice every Monday using this content calendar, or even better, this transcript. You review the output on Tuesday, make edits, post, schedule for the week. Here are the brand guidelines, doc. Here's when to escalate to me. Now, your AI, your virtual assistant has everything from that AI assistant, and they can execute with asking you. They only have to ask you questions if there's an exception. Instructions: answer customer emails. Vague. Your VA asks, how do I respond to refunds, complaints, questions about the program, technical issues? You end up being the bottleneck for every email type because they have to come to you and ask you. System: here are the templates and frameworks for the 10 most common email types. AI drafts those responses using these frameworks in your voice. They review, personalize if needed, send. Escalate these 3 situations to me. This way, your team or your VA handles 90% independently. You only see the 10% that needs you. See the difference? Instructions make you the system. You have to be available, present, and answering. But systems work without you. Your VA, your team can manage them. AI does the heavy lifting. You're consulted only on exceptions. I had this client who had spent 6 months trying to train her new VA. She'd record Loom videos. Here's how to do that. She'd write detailed instructions step by step. That was back 2014. That's what we used to do then. She'd walk through things like, watch me do it, then you try. None of it worked. Her VA still asks the same questions every day. That's because she was giving better instructions, but what her VA needed now, today, to do even more is a system. We build them in 3 weeks. Content systems used with AI, writing in her voice, email system with templates and frameworks, course support with AI, handling those questions, helping students do their homework, operations with automation and decision frameworks. This way, her VA went from, how do I do this, to, oh my gosh, I have this handled. And this is what changes when your VA or your team has AI, systems, and frameworks. So when your VA has frameworks plus AI support, everything can shift in your business. First shift. Questions, they drop by 80 to 90%. They're no longer asking you how to write content. Your AI assistant writes it for you. They review it, post it. They're not asking you how to handle a situation. The frameworks tell them. They're not asking you for approval on everything. Systems run automatically. They're asking questions only on true exceptions. The stuff that still actually needs you. The second shift is that your quality goes up. When your team is guessing, quality varies, right? Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's off. But when they're working with a trained AI on your voice and your frameworks and your decision-making that match your thinking, your quality ends up being consistent. Third shift, your VA finally and your team member finally feel confident. This is the shift that nobody talks about, but it's huge. Your team or your VA, they stop feeling like they're bothering you. They stop second guessing themselves. They know what to do. They have the tools. They execute. Fourth shift, and this is one you're actually love. You get your time back. You're not answering questions for 2 hours every morning. You're not the bottleneck for every decision in your business. You're doing the work now that only you can do. Strategy, relationships, growth. Here's an example. One of my clients, she tracks her time obsessively. Before we built her AI business team, she was spending 15 to 20 hours a week answering team questions and fixing things. After, 2 to 3 hours a week only on exceptions and strategic decisions. That's 12 to 17 hours back every single week. And she told me, I forgot what it felt like to work on my business instead of in my business. Her team told her, I finally feel like I'm helping you instead of creating more work. Both of them were happier. Both of them more productive. Same team, better in systems and AI. So here's what this means for you. Let's recap. Your team asks you questions because they don't have your voice, your decision frameworks, or systems that run without you. What they actually need is AI trained on your voice, decision frameworks for common situations, and systems with AI doing the heavy lifting repetitive tasks. The difference between instructions and systems, instructions make you the system, but systems let your team run and manage without you. And what changes with the frameworks? Questions to you drop by 80 to 90%. The quality goes up, your team feels confident, and you get 12 to 17 hours back every week. And that's what we build inside the AI business team. The systems that answer those questions for your team. AI does the heavy lifting, your team manages the system, and you get to focus on strategy. We build the systems, we build the AI assistants, we create the frameworks, we train your team. 30 to 60 days of constant questions to 30 to 60 days from constant questions to becoming to independent execution. The link, if you want to get started, is right down in the description. You can book an AI business game plan call with me and see how this might work inside your business. And if you're thinking, but I don't have a VA yet, should I hire one? Watch the next video because I'm breaking down the unicorn assistant myth and what you actually need instead.
You've been listening to the Profitable Content Creator Podcast, where content creators go to learn how to take their content creation to the next level. If you love the Profitable Content Creator Podcast, we'd love for you to subscribe, rate, and give us a review on iTunes. Until next time.